Hi, how to approach a reset. So we want to nourish, we want to strengthen, we want to energize, and so much more. The so much more is the way in which we approach the reset in order to it to become sustainable, to become lifestyle habits, to become a long-term health benefit for you. Okay, so number one of six. Okay. Number one, something is better than nothing. Too many times we don't start because we can't do the full shebang, the full program. Always something is better than nothing. So whether or not with exercise it is, well, I can only fit in 2 lots of 10 minutes this week. Those 2 lots of 10 minutes are better than doing nothing at all. Always something is better than nothing. If it's coming to food planning, if you can't plan everything of your food, just a little bit is better than nothing. So it's getting that mindset that something is better than nothing, because every time you do something, you're going to be moving further and further on. So, for example, with your steps, it might be, well, I'm not going to hit my target of steps today. I'm not going to hit my 8,000 steps, for example. So I'm just going to give up. But actually, if you thought, oh, well, I've got time to go in for a 10-minute walk, that 10-minute walk, those extra steps are going to help. So always keep thinking something is better than nothing. And then in a very similar way, number two, imperfect action is the winner. It is always the winner. So even if it can't be done perfectly, even if you're doing it imperfectly, and I'm not saying about technique, I'm not saying about form, but maybe you haven't got the perfect location, maybe you haven't got the perfect time, maybe you haven't got the perfect equipment, but imperfect action is the winner. For example, if you just have a resistance band at home, use that instead of dumbbells. It's still action. So it's a bit like the first one, something is better than nothing. But in perfect action, it doesn't always have to be perfect. A lot of time, people will message say, I want to start, but I need to wait until I've been on holiday. I want to start, but I'm really busy at the moment in my job. I want to start, but I can't for 1,001 reasons. But actually, if they just started, they'll be further on than they would be before. So in perfect action, you are here because you're wanting action. So just keep thinking to yourself, it doesn't have to be the perfect time. Maybe you're used to working out in the morning, but you can't work out in the morning for the whole week. So you might have to go in the evening. It might not be perfect for you, but again, something is better than nothing. So keep that in your mindset. So something is better than nothing, and imperfect action is the winner every time. Okay, moving away from that, the number one and two are quite similar, but consistency. This is what matters, is what you do every day. So, for example, at Christmas, people tend to have high density, high calorific foods for what is it, the week of Christmas? But we have got 52 weeks in the year. If we did that every week of the year, your result would look quite different. But actually, if you're just having that for holidays, or you're just having it for the Christmas, the Easter, or certain times, it's not going to make that much of an impact. If you were doing that every day, it would, wouldn't it? So what matters is what you do every day. So it's getting in that lifestyle. So knowing your calories, you don't have to be tracking your calories, but knowing your energy intake and how it's balancing with your outtake. Your steps, if you're trying to get 8,000 steps minimum every day, if you don't get it for 1 out of those 7 days, it's going to make a difference. But if you only get 8,000 steps for 1 day out of those 7, it is going to make a difference. So what matters is what you do every day. Is if every day you heap on loads of oil and butter and eat loads of chocolates and have a big pack of family crisps, if you do that every day, your result is going to look very different in 6 weeks. Okay, so what matters is what you do every day. So being on the reset, if you approach the reset to get the best results and you think what I do every day matters, so I'm going to have 3 meals a day. You have those guidelines, your non-negotiables. So 3 meals a day, I'm not going to eat after my evening meal, for example, if that suits you. I'm just going to have 2 snacks a day. I'm going to have a bigger lunch, and then have a smaller dinner. I'm going to prioritize my protein and veg every day. If it doesn't happen every day, that's okay. But what matters is what you do every day. That consistency is going to win. Okay, number 4. I've got a picture of a bike here. But think of a bike going down a slope with a bumpy road. Every time we see a bump, we go over a bump when we're on a bike or in a car, we don't stop. If we stopped every time there was a bump in the road, we wouldn't get very far. So if you think about you with your journey, with your reset, if you stopped every time there was a bump, you're going to halt that progress. Whereas if we embrace the bumps and we learn from the bumps and the bumps make us stronger, we're going to go further in our journey. So when you have the bump, we're going to have those bumps. Embrace it. We learn from that. We go, what happened? Could I stop that happening? Possibly not. What can I learn from it? How can I make myself more resilient to the bumps? And actually, those little bumps, as you become more resilient to those bumps, they won't seem like bumps at all. And then bigger bumps might happen, and we're going to become more resilient because we'll get the tools, because we'll learn how to embrace them. How do we learn from this? It might be you're in a really good routine and then something changed with your lifestyle. You had more pressures and you didn't have the same time. That would be a bump. But then it would be looking at it, going, right, what can I do to get over it? You can talk to me. It's always good to talk. Always be open with your feelings. Or maybe you've just lost the motivation. We're not going to have motivation all the time. But if we have got consistency and we're performing habits, that motivation will come with it. Because motivation will drop, but we need to embrace the bumps in the road. So some of this, you might be listening to, oh yeah, I do that. But to be honest, over this 6 weeks, you are going to find bumps and they're all going to be in the road, but we just need to make sure those bumps aren't stopping us. Number 5. I'm really passionate about this. What can you do more of? So we're in very much a lifestyle which is all about restriction. So restricting this, restricting that. But actually, if we thought, what can we have more of? So for example, if you've got a calorie target of 1,400 calories, what can you have more of? What are those foods that are low calorie, but you can have lots of? So you could have veggies of all different types, the fruits, the proteins. Yes, you can have carbs too, but actually we might need to limit some things. So say it's sugary snacks or crisps. We want to focus what we can have more of. Also, if we are limiting, for example, chocolate, say we are limiting chocolate to we're having it each day, but a limited amount, savor it so you can have more time of that. So, for example, if it takes you, see how long it would take you to have the amount of chocolate you would want to eat. Can you savor a smaller amount of chocolate that fits within your calories? Can you have more time? What can you do more of to make you feel good for the reset? Can you have more steps, getting outside and getting some fresh air? If you are working, can you do some walk, talk, phone chats? Really think about what you can have more of. You could sit down and you could do a little brainstorm of what you can have more of. Talk to people, more of sleep. Nice. Maybe you need to go to bed a little bit earlier. Maybe you've got a lack of sleep and that is impacting on your hunger the next day. Maybe exercise. Maybe you're feeling you need some more exercise. Maybe we need to do 10 minutes a day. It's trying to work out those things we can have more of to make us feel better, to make us feel fitter, stronger, and more energized. Okay, finally, this one, get to know yourself, be your own tracker. So as you go through the reset, I'll be talking about MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck. I'll be talking about the training app, those who are running or whatever might be using the training app to record their runs, their mileage. There's a lot of tracking. But actually, the most important tracker is you. The most important tracker is you knowing your limits, your boundaries, what makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel good. Get to know yourself. For example, emotional eating. Overeating doesn't usually feel very good. Know it, own it, admit it to yourself. What foods is it that you can have more of that you really enjoy? What is working for you? If you are on a fat loss journey, weight loss journey, What do you know that works for you? Is it that you need to cut out the maybe it's white bread, or maybe there's certain things that hold on to your weight? Is there things that you need to cut out? Because you probably know yourself. It's very likely you have done some diets before and you've lost weight. What worked for them? And with those diets, it might be you lost weight, you might have lost 3 stone, for example, and then you've put it all back on. What worked to lose that 3 stone? What can we bring back? It doesn't need to be all of it. What can we bring back? So be your own tracker. Be your own tracker. Know how much sleep that you need to make you feel energized in the day. If you're not having that sleep, what can you do to help? How many steps do you need to do for your health? Remember, every little step counts. So the more steps, the more movement we do, it reduces our risk of death. It reduces our risk of getting the nasties. So the first 7,000, 8,000 is a really steep curve in reducing the chance of death, as in getting the diseases. Okay, so you think, okay, well, if I know that, I need to be able to do 8,000. Actually, I feel really energized when I do 12,000 steps 3 times a week, 4 times a week. If you know you'll feel good going for a run, then we should be letting ourselves go for a run. If you know you'll feel good for having X, Y, and Z downtime, so you know that you have some time to relax, know yourself, know what you need. Talk to people about it. Okay, it's really, really super important. So putting all this together, so these are all mindset methods that we can use to get the best out of the reset. So something is better than nothing. And perfect action is always the winner. We do not have to wait for the perfect time, the perfect moment. Thirdly, what matters is what you do every day. That is your consistency. Consistently every day drinking 2 litres of water. Whoa, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Consistently every day having protein and veg in your diet. Consistently every day having at least 5 portions of fruit and veg. Consistently every day getting at least 7 hours sleep. Just think how your body would feel. Consistently every day getting in some kind of movement. Good, isn't it? Okay, number 4, embrace the bumps in the road. There are going to be bumps. We cannot stop at every bump. Every time we stop, that reaching the goal gets further and further away. And if you completely stop, it becomes a long old journey. But if we have the bump, we might need to stop. We might need to give ourselves a little bit of TLC. We might need to look after that, whatever happened from the bump in the road. But then we carry on going. It might be we carry on going on a different route. Talk to me. Let me help you with those bumps in the road. What can you do more of? So think about your lifestyle. What can you do more of without causing any more stress, though? We do not want to be causing any more stress. What can you do more of? Is it it's things about what it's saying, what matters every day, like the fruit, the veg, the sleep. Can you do more of? Do you need to do more of socializing with friends, or do you need to be more organized when you socialize with friends, so you can anticipate, you know, what's going to happen? So think about what you can do more of, and then finally get to know yourself. Be your own tracker. And I think that one sums it all up. So be your own tracker of those first 5. Be your own tracker of each one. What works really works for you. So what you could do now as an action is to think of these 6 and make some notes. Even have one, and, you know, make a bit of an action. So for example, what can you do more of? I can do more of X, Y, and Z. It might be you just want to make a few notes around each one of them, just to remind yourself of what you want to do. But these mindset methods are ones that I want you to try and use over the next few weeks. The mindset methods to really think about. I have got some PDFs that you can use. So I will send them to you. And these are what get the results. Yes, we can get in the calories and the steps and exercise. Yes, they will get the results, but this is what will maintain the results. This is what makes it sustainable. This makes it what's different to following a meal plan. It is not black and white. Nothing in our life is black and white. There's always going to be things coming up. And all of these sum up the mindset methods you can use to get the best results for the next 6 weeks that will continue onwards. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to talk them through, let me know. And yeah, embrace them, have a go. And I have got PDFs with this, so if you haven't got them, message me and I will send them to you. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you find this useful.